Sally. I think that might be like all-time favorite. Just that scene in Katz's Deli. I need not say anymore, but it's one of the most hilarious scenes from a movie ever. Invisibility. Because it's nice to just be able to roam around the world or just do your errands completely unnoticed. You are a musician. That is the best compliment I've ever gotten. It has nothing to do with the sound, I guess, of my voice or whatever talent, quote unquote talent I possess. It's about musicianship. I think you don't just have a good voice. It's that you have an understanding of music, the moving parts that create it, and the expression. I guess being able to put some of the theory into practice. I think there's quite a bit, but that is like the best compliment I've ever gotten. Something that I've always wanted to try, but was too scared. I don't know. I've tried skiing. We all know how that turned out. Never again. Make sure you fully develop a sense of humor. Because life is really funny. I think lavender. Just very calming and very relaxing. Gosh, I can't remember what I used in high school. A lot of Spanish baby cologne. Tenene, Tenuco. That was the kind of stuff that I remember a lot of the girls wearing at the time, but the guys were starting to explore the manly colognes. So I think whenever I smell like a particular brand of men's cologne, things like Dracar Noir, things like Purus, that kind of stuff, that has imprinted itself in my mind as my friends are grown up. What would I consider time? Oh yeah, when a game console is on, just basically leave me alone. That's it. Oh, right now I'm playing Assassin's Creed Valhalla. I mean, I do like getting manicures and pedicures. I do like that. I love getting a massage. That kind of stuff is what I would consider me time. Or if I spend time with my best friends. Trevor Noah's book, Born a Crime. I will recommend that to anybody that's looking for something to read. A lot of the topics that he does talk about, growing up in South Africa, growing up in apartheid, growing up a mixed race human when that was looked down upon, or whatever privileges he enjoyed because he was mixed, or how society saw him. It was just very interesting to read. Some parts of it made me cry, some parts of it made me laugh out loud, and it's a book I would absolutely read again. It's just so good. I think a lot of the stuff that was played in my childhood were the Osmonds. Olivia Newton-John, like hers was really a voice that, you know, filled my head and my ears when I was growing up, and the Carpenters. It kind of shows what my musical influences are. It was artists that didn't only sound great, but they also placed importance on lyric and storytelling. As They Love You is one of the most popular ones, but then there was also Suddenly that she sang with Cliff Richard, and Have You Ever Been Mellow, which might have been one of the first songs I ever learned to sing. That my cousin who would babysit would teach that to me. Have you ever been mellow? There. Have you ever tried? That one. That's the one. Probably A Dream is a Wish Your Heart Knows, a Disney princess song. So it's kind of fitting that the first song that I could sing from start to finish without making mistakes would be a Disney princess song. I guess it was, you know, Kismet. Thriller on cassette, because at the time I couldn't afford the vinyl. Barbra Streisand, I think Karen Carpenter, Michael Jackson. I think I worshipped him when I was growing up, like millions of other people. You know what? The entire Thriller album from start to finish. The whole thing. That is an album that once Wanna Be Startin' Something begins, all the way until Lady in My Life, can play that nonstop. Les Mis is definitely my favorite. I loved Sweeney Todd. I fell in love with it when we were working on it. I learned to really appreciate the wordplay, the storytelling with the songs, how each song was tailored for each character, the mammoth effort it took for any of us to learn that show. And it's just so smart. It's creepy AF, but it's really smart. Ooh, I think Windmills of Your Mind is up there. It's Michel Legrand and Alan and Marilyn Bergman. And it's one of those things where the stuff that's in the song, they're tangible, but at the same time, they're kind of not. It's like round, like a cavern to a cavern of its own, like a hollow the sun has never shone, like a door that keeps revolving in a half-forgotten dream, or the ripples from a pebble someone tosses in a stream. It's like, where is this going? And it's a lot of fun to sing, but boy, my brain is tired by the time it's over. Yeah, and I realized that's not one of my gifts. I think I tend to hear the melody first, especially if a song is so poorly enunciated. Of course I'm going to hear the melody first because I'm like, what lyric is this? I don't understand anything. I don't know. I got to perform for some really amazing people, so I don't know that there is still a desire for, to actually stand in front of a particular person and perform for them. I don't know that I have one. I think I've gotten pretty lucky with the artists I've gotten to sing with, so I don't know if I'm wishing for another. Yeah, I mean, I would love to work with Barbra Streisand someday, just to see how she works, because she's not just talented, she's intelligent and knows what she wants and tries to make sure that she's able to get that. And just her musicianship, her phrasing, her interpretation, her taste, and the orchestrations that she says yes to, the music choices, of the stuff that she's recorded or the stuff that she's performed, and she's such a master storyteller. So all of that, I want to be in that room with her when all this is happening. Usually pretty unfazed when I'm performing because of the amount of preparation that goes into the show. I mean, there was one performance of Allegiance where Bernadette Peters, Audra McDonald, Joel Grey happened to be there. So there were so many Tony Award winners that happened to be in the theater on that same night. And normally it would make any theater performer a little nervous with these giants in the audience. But, then I think to myself, well, I have a Tony, so I'm not that different. I have, and this is what makes teleprompters so valuable. And I mean, I'm spoiled, obviously, when I do concerts because I always have prompters, but in a musical, obviously, we can't have those. And you rehearse for so long anyway, it's fine. There are current favorites, like on the last tour, one song that I really look forward to every single night would be For Forever, Dear Evan Hansen. There was definitely a beginning, and then here comes all of this narrative, and then there's an ending, and it's nice to follow that story. I just like getting into a song that tells a clear story. And so I sang it for 27 times, on tour in the US, 9 times in the UK, so a total of 36 public performances with that song, plus rehearsals. So it became a massive favorite. The other favorite was Toxic by Britney Spears. I mean, the last concert I saw were all online, and that was all BTS. Those might have been the best concerts I've ever seen. I was just totally floored because of the production value and the obvious care and meticulous planning that went into that. I was like, this would have been amazing live. And then every concert that I saw after that, it's like they are worth whatever ticket you buy to watch them. I don't know. Because it's also fun being the second, third, or fourth person to do something. Because then you're like, how can I improve upon this? How can I make this better? Or what can I bring to this song that hasn't been thought of before? It's nice, for example, to be the umpteenth eponeme to sing on my own and to try and make it memorable and make it mine. Defying Gravity, it's between that and Let It Go. Those might be the hardest ones because of how much stamina is required. They're just physical beasts, and they test my technique. And if you're tired, it's like, dear God, just take me out of here now. Give My Life for You, On My Own, A Whole New World. Those are the songs I think I sing the most. I can't say that I get tired of the songs that I sing, only because as I get older and as I, kind of just live my life, there's something there that will inform how I sing a particular song. So there's always something new or different to infuse a song with. So I guess in that way it makes, even the old songs interesting. When I first left to do Miss Saigon, a lot of people saw it as a huge opportunity, and it's like, yeah, it's a go, do it. It's once in a lifetime, yada, yada, yada. But now that I know more of the unknowns that go into doing a show, like an original musical, that a track record does not always mean that a show is going to be successful. Just because such and such wrote the music doesn't always mean anything. So, we went in naive and hopeful, and that's living in another country. It was just going into the unknown for myself, for my mom, for everybody else from Manila that headed over there. There was really this element of, I have no idea what's going to happen. And there was also that risk, the professional risk of being in a show that could fail. And how does that then impact your reputation moving forward? So, yeah. So that might have been the biggest risk, but boy, the rewards were huge. So it was absolutely worth doing. Celeste Legaspi called my mother to tell her about these auditions that were happening. Of course, my mom was skeptical. And she immediately thought, these guys might just take advantage of my daughter and then disappear and whatever. And Celeste reassured her repeatedly that that was not the case. And they were going all around the world looking for somebody to play this character. And that person ended up being me. The first audition day, I think I came from school, and it wasn't even filmed. That first audition day wasn't filmed. So I went, I sang, and then I got called back. What people are seeing on YouTube was the callback. I had plans already for the rest of my life, and I was in college. And, there wasn't an air of desperation because I wasn't desperate to get this part. For me, it was like, well, this will be a good experience to audition for them. If I get it, great. If I don't get it, also great. Didn't matter either way. I had no idea that that's what their faces looked like. I was focused on what I needed to do. Like, I have to learn this song, I'm going to sing this song, and shut out everything else. She's on YouTube and she finds stuff. I don't know if she's ever seen it, or if she I don't really want to see my mom doing anything. It's weird, I think, for her watching me. The whole tour, she watched one show. Royal Albert Hall. That's the only one she wanted to see. Everything else, she stayed in the dressing room or stayed in the hotel. Doesn't really care. Probably as a teenager. I was already in show business and puberty don't always combine nicely. And I remember because of hairspray, hair product, I would get some acne. And just being a hormonal teenager, acne will happen. So I think that's when I started becoming a little more self-conscious. That's when I think I was more aware that I needed to really take care of my skin, you know. There's really not much. I mean, I do my facial cleansing when I'm in the shower. I shower before I go to bed. Because it's nice to go into bed when you're like completely clean, and it's less messy when I cleanse my face as part of my shower. And then it's that, what is that, gold serum from Repechage. So there's that. And then I put a moisturizer and go to bed. For the morning, I don't usually soap. I usually just rinse my face so that whatever products I had on the night before doesn't get completely stripped off. I try to be as gentle as possible on my skin. Nothing abrasive, nothing too invasive. I mean, I've gotten away with being 51 and not doing anything so drastic, so I must be doing something right. I usually can do the 8 hours, yeah, but it's weird. I think the older that I'm getting, my body wants to wake up at a very specific time, regardless of what time I went down the night before. But normally I can get 8 hours. Yeah, when things hurt when I wake up. My back, my hips, my knees. That's when. For my mom, I mean, she's 85 and still looks pretty amazing. She doesn't really soap her face a lot. Yeah, so that whatever natural oils her skin produces, it stays on her face. It's not stripped off. So she doesn't use a lot of soap. So I figured, well, if you look that good, you must be doing something right. Oh, well, in her case, she has eczema. So her skincare routine is very, very different. So she has eczema, and then she's a hormonal teenager. So that, manifests in acne breakouts. But lately her skin's been looking really good. So, I mean, she found a dermatologist-based treatment, and that's what she's been following. Only if I get drunk. But yeah, it's happened that I've fallen asleep with makeup on and woke up and the makeup was still perfect. I look at myself in the mirror once I sobered up, like, I still look good, but I gotta take this off. I would never speak ill of people that I love.
I will always black.
Love you, just. I will. I will always be ready with a compliment for someone who deserves it. Change. It was when I learned how to drive. It was when I had to drive myself to work. It was when I got a television role on a soap opera. That kind of changed. When it wasn't just about doing theater and doing music. That there were other things that I was either learning how to do or figuring out. Oh my God, really? What was happening at 40? Can't remember much, except I had a really good birthday party. I'd like for it to be, to have adventure, to have stuff that's still new. I mean, I'm on an HBO Max show. Never thought that was gonna happen, like, in this decade. In the middle of a global pandemic, still was able to do that. Never mind if my mom was saying, don't do it! Because she was so scared of the pandemic. But that was a risk worth taking and is paying dividends now. So it's one of those things where I can tell her, see, I told you so. I told you so. You're not always right. Don't listen to society. They're lying. You're only as old as you feel. And for women, I think 40 doesn't have to signify, you know, becoming more kurang. You know, people live longer now, and you know, and people are living more vibrant, full lives. And 40 is actually still very young. You still have a foothold in youth. You still have hope and optimism for the future. But you have enough years that when you look back, it's like, wow, there's still much to learn, and then there's still much to do. To facial care, wow, 40 has never looked so good. And thank you for making a lot of Filipino men and women look great.
Baby, you're a firework. Come and show them what you're worth. Make them go as you shoot up to the sky.
I'm sure I'm getting some of the lyrics wrong, but that's what I can think of. I am a Gen X baby, but generation facial care, forever.